I just watched a talk from Anthropic's own applied AI team at their internal dev conference, and I learned something I didn't expect. Almost everyone building with Claude is missing this one thing about memory. Turns out, Anthropic splits it into 5 layers. I'm walking you through all 5, plus the one piece almost nobody's talking about yet. And once you see it, you'll know exactly why your Claude setup keeps forgetting everything about your business and how to fix it. Now, here's the thing nobody tells you: a smarter model doesn't automatically make your setup better. Anthropic ships a new model, and it's more capable, sure, but it still walks into your business with zero idea how you like things done. It doesn't know your client's brand voice. It doesn't know the mistake it made in yesterday's session. And every new chat, it's meeting you for the first time. That's the root problem. Intelligence doesn't compound on its own, because by default, nothing carries over. That's the exact gap that context engineering exists to close. I'm calling this the context stack. 5 layers. Anthropic actually built them in this order: learning something new and hitting a new wall at every step. Layer 1, the file. Layer 2, memory. Layer 3, the shelf. That's skills. Layer 4, the system. Memory treated like an actual file system with real guardrails. And layer 5, the one I promised you, the dream. Let's go through them. All right, so layer 1, the file. It started with a single markdown file, the claude.md. You drop in a few lines, your code base, your client's tone, how you like things structured, and it steers the entire session from the first response. This is basically what I do the second I start with a new client. A few lines about their brand voice, their stack, their pet peeves. The very first thing Claude gives back is already dialed in. But here's the catch: that file only grows. Every edge case gets tacked on, and 6 months in, it's 400 lines Claude has to wade through before it does anything. And that bloat is exactly what pushed Anthropic to layer 2. So the next move was giving Claude actual memory, not a static file, but tools that let it decide mid conversation when to read something back and when to write something new down. Autonomy works. Claude's actually good at deciding what's worth remembering in the moment. But the problem is that it's still stuck inside one session. It doesn't fix the bloat, but it just delays it. Then came skills. You've heard me talk about these 100 times, but here's the piece most people miss. Claude doesn't load the whole skill up front. It just scans a couple of sentences, the description, and only pulls the full file in when it's actually relevant. That's called progressive disclosure, and it's the reason you can pack a skill with as much detail as you want without bloating every single conversation. This is exactly why I split my one giant content skill into three: a scriptwriter skill, a floor raiser skill, and an idea generation skill. Claude just grabs the one it needs off the shelf instead of dragging everything into context every single time. The catch? A human still has to decide what deserves a skill. It's better, but it's still hand curated. The state of the art right now, what Anthropic actually runs in production, is treating memory like a real file system. Just markdown files, searched with the same tools Claude already uses everywhere else, like grep. No special memory API, no extra opinion needed. But the second you're running this across more than one agent or more than one client, you need guardrails or it falls apart fast. 4 of them matter most: versioning, where every update gets tracked so a bad change can be rolled back; concurrency, if two agents try to edit the same memory at once, one of them loses and has to redo it, so nothing gets silently overridden; permissioning, the big shared context is read only. Your personal scratchpad is the only thing you can freely write to; and portability, clean enough that the same memory works across every tool you're using it in, not locked to one. If you're running automations for 3 or 4 clients at once, the way I am, this is the difference between one agent quietly bleeding into another client's context and everything staying exactly where it belongs. And finally, here's the big one: dreaming. Every layer so far happens in the moment, inside a live session, while Claude's also trying to do the actual work. Dreaming is different. It's a separate process running after hours with one job only: Get smarter. It takes a stack of transcripts every session from that day and goes looking for patterns. Not one mistake, but the mistake that keeps happening. Then it proposes changes to the memory store itself before the next session even starts. Think about a teacher grading a stack of exams overnight, noticing every student missed the same question, and rewriting tomorrow's lesson before class starts. Nobody has to notice the pattern by hand. The system notices it for you. Anthropic built an entire process whose only job is doing this automatically, reviewing every session you had that day, not just the one you happen to remember. Without this, you're the one manually catching that your skill keeps messing up the same step, going in and fixing it by hand. Dreaming is that exact habit, just running while you sleep. So, 5 layers: a file that steers the session, memory that decides what's worth keeping, skills that only load when they're relevant, a system with real guardrails once more than one agent's involved, and dreaming, the process that goes back and makes the whole thing smarter overnight. Here's the transformation stacked all the way up. Your setup stops being something you have to keep re explaining and starts being something that actually gets better the more you use it. Quick pause: if you want to work with me to automate and optimize your business using AI, there's a link in the description. Check it out.